Hello, YouTube. We're going to do a replay analysis on stream. So any questions will pop in the little chat box over here. We're watching a Treant Protector game, Archon 1. I believe you wanted to know a bit about some itemization thoughts in this game and then whatever else. Let me just double check. Couple feeds from miscommunications, all good. And yeah, itemization advice and then whatever else. All right, let's take a look. So, guys, Orb of Venom. Let's see, what is this? Archon 1?
30 seconds to showtime.
Okay, I think this will be okay then. It's hard to do this the higher up you go, because people will cut all your trees, and they like always play away from you. But I think at this rank, you can still get away with it.
And they're off.
Kind of don't mind the preemptive
Hopes for this one.
Nature's Guys, but I also think if you position yourself like here and Nature's Guys like this way, it can work very well too, because you kind of still cut off the path of, like, anyone who wants to run into the rune has to like run through this thing, and it's kind of annoying. But at the same time, I think this way is like also not bad. But if they're like already out here, then obviously that won't really work so hot. And then if you throw it like this angle, then they're like, whoop, and then they run home. So I think usually going down this way like is a little more likely to get you good harass. Or to hold it until you actually see heroes. But either way, it's kind of fine, and like you're gonna regen all your mana. I recommend body block 3 of them. Like, let one go. That way the one creep will follow the normal path, and he'll like meet the creeps here. Or if they're body blocking, then the one creep will meet up here, so equilibrium will be a little higher up. But because your one creep's there by himself, he's gonna die like right away, and then it'll push back in the next couple waves. So I personally am a fan of like letting the one go through if no one's checking. If you can see that they're body blocking, then you can just body block for free. But yeah, this is exactly what happened. Because you're body blocking all of them and then they didn't do much body blocking, then it comes right into the tower. Oops. Alright, hold on. Let's go back here. Lots happening here all at once. So, first, techies cannot be killed. He has suicide, I heard it. You cannot kill techies without a stun or silence. It's not possible once he has suicide. Anytime you get close, he just kills himself. And he harasses you. So like any kind of trading with techies, if you don't have a stun, is not worth it. Unless it's like free harass. Like in this case, one punch, like that's fine. But if you dedicate a lot of time and spells to harass techies, but you do not have a stun, every single time he'll just suicide, and he'll waste all your time, and he comes back to lane full health, and you have to use regen or you've died. So don't spend too much time on techies unless it's a free hit. So then the next target is like this axe. So when you walk out here, you punch the techies, you see him back out this way, that's fine. Then turn your attention to this axe and maybe angle your Nature's Guys this way to cut off the axe. When you go this way, like look how much room he still has to maneuver on either side. But if you go this way, then he has to go through Nature's Guys this way, or he runs this way. But you're standing here, so then you get to punch him once or twice. So that's... Target of harassment should be axe, generally. And then you also angle your Nature's Guys to like really limit his path. But then, with this battle hunger on you, you can't leave these trees. If you leave the trees, like any other hero besides Treant, this would be bad positioning right now. Because, I mean, look where the tower is. It's back there. And your 2v1, you'll take a lot of harass. Treant can do it because he has this tree walking. And as long as you're in these trees, you're relatively safe. But if you have a dot applied to you, if you walk out of the trees, it breaks. And then it's not okay anymore. So right here, that noise, that's your passive breaking. And that means you can't run through trees anymore. And now you're in a really dangerous spot. They should just like harass you down here. And yeah, they kind of are. You see like how much health you lost? You didn't really have to lose like any health. Hey, perfect example, right? You cannot kill a techies without some kind of stun. Anti-mage, I thought maybe he would drain enough mana, but clearly we did not get there. Because it only cost him 100 mana to use the spell, and look how much you have to burn through. So, no stun, no silence, cannot worry about the techies.
First time for everything.
And also, you don't even have to, right? Just let him hit you. He has like 35 damage. Yeah, 35. If they start cutting your trees this way, then you'll have to play on this side a bit, or think about pulls. So right now, actually, your teleport, you might have considered teleporting on this side, and then try to do a pull. Oh, looks like it was blocked. You'd have seen it's blocked. So you're gonna need a sentry once you notice it that. Let's see when that happens. So right now, yeah, just run at this guy. Punch him. I don't even care if anti-mage can't go. Oh, nice. All right, and that's exactly what you can do with the Treant. I mean, as you see, you just did it yourself. So Axe is just a lot easier to go against than the techies. Definitely have to start using heal right away as soon as you pick it up. All right, he kind of screwed it up. He chose to walk in further, which I think is bad. He could have just walked back and been okay. So I actually wouldn't have cast this one. I think the techies may have screwed up. I actually think anti-mage... maybe not. It's probably not worth the risk. Alright, you're going to miss this pull. So after... So chasing this guy I kind of get because you have so many creeps. I think this is fine. Once you reach this point, though, you know, probably not going to kill him, especially with Axe here. So you need to look to the pull immediately. If you were like a few seconds sooner, I think you could have gotten this hard pull. Look how many creeps you have. So this hard pull would have been really good. We're just going to have to spam heal that guy. You probably want to salve for him, too. Against techies. Actually, this is what I was going to say. This ring of regen is I would do a salve instead. You have enough tangos that you don't need the ring of regen quite yet. And the way techies works is that he just does chunks of damage to you at a time. So, as you can see, AM's just been low for a long time. Even with the heal is just slow. So instead of this ring of regen, I think a salve would have been a lot better. And you wouldn't be feeling too bad about all this. Well, okay. They're chasing you. That part, like, okay, fine. Try to get them to de-aggro outside of the tower, because now this is going to start pushing again. So you're going to have to bring them over. Just change the way you pathed. So right this way, you like walk down and then here. So you want to walk this way a bit. They're asking for him to quell him. Oh, did I miss that? Did he ping it or ask? In which case, yeah, you could just cut that with your tangos, like Morne is saying. Okay, Axe kind of pushed the wave back for you. All right, actually, yeah, you can play aggressively for a bit now because he used to suicide for harass. Oh, this is greedy. Maybe this is a misclick. Because it's definitely supposed to go on the anti-mage right now. Oh no, the courier! Killed by techies. That's sad. Alright. I think you might be baiting yourself. I think this techies is going to be able to kill you. Okay, no, we're back. Alright, I'm not going to worry about the last hitting. But you need to buy... Actually, I guess you were trying to buy it on the courier. But you notice how you're running low. And this heal on yourself is okay. But ideally, when you're Treant, you pretty much only want to heal your carry. And rely on the tangos you bought. Or you can pick up like a ring of regen later, not at the start. I think like later you can pick one up. And then as long as like you're touching trees, you have amplified healing. I think you've now realized that small camp is blocked. Or maybe you think the anti-mage has farmed it. Or the axe has farmed it. This is too much. Unless you have a very specific reason to pick Leech Seed, it's too hard. You don't have the mana. Like, you're already at no mana, and then you pick a spell that you, like, definitely don't have mana to use. So right now, I think you should be at least a second point in living armor. You don't have to fully max it, but the heal goes from 60 to 100, and you are reducing the cooldown, but you'll notice the mana cost does not change at all. So leveling this skill does not strain your mana pool, and this skill, leveling it up, does strain it a little bit. 5 mana, not too bad though. But Leech Seed is like a full extra 110 mana, plus, as you level it up, 10 more mana each time. So now to use all your spells, 250 mana roughly, and that's like 2/3 of your mana pool, and you're just not going to be able to use all of them unless you've bought a lot of regen for mana. So like if you know you're going to play a Leech Seed build, you have to get a couple mangoes. Maybe not right at the start, but like eventually you have to pick some up, because otherwise you just don't have the mana pool to sustain it. So especially with this lane, with ANT Mage taking so much harass, I think you should skip the Leech Seed. And in fact, this second point in Nature's Grasp, I kind of missed when you grabbed it. But I think your skill build in this game, so starting 1 here is fine. Then 1 point here. See how the lane goes. If you think you can get more harass with this one and you don't need the healing, that's fine. But in this game, we've seen Anti-Mage low, like the whole game. The whole game he's been low. So 2 points in living armor. And then from there you can see... I frequently end up maxing it, especially with weak carries like Anti-Mage. I just keep healing him. So like, yeah, you're getting like last hits now because he's too low, right? This is where you needed to buy, this is why you need to buy like the regen and stuff. I think you did have the salve on the way. Maybe the salve got killed. That was part of the courier kill maybe. Forgot to get yourself mana regen though, so you'll notice you're still like extremely low. Can't use all your spells. Ooh, it's kind of scary. Courier kill, okay. Oh, I think you're going too far for that. I don't think I have to say too much on that actually. Yeah, you should just not. Yeah, you just need to not go for that. Techies is a really fast hero. Based on where he was, I think he just walks away. Oh no, Anti-Mage is having a really rough time. Part of this, I think, is your skill build and your lack of healing for him. The way you're playing the lane is like not too bad, in terms of like harassing, and I think you could probably be looking for more pulls. But like, we should probably see this guy. Oh, maybe he already used suicide. Did I miss that? Okay, Techie's kill. Okay. AA here? Sure. Yeah, salve him. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, so what should you do right now? Oh, I missed when you placed this. I'm kind of okay with this ward, but I also think it should probably be further up. So what do you think you should do right now? I think a great thing to do is either pull or ward right now, because they're dead, they can't contest you, so you're going to deny them a lot of XP. And because they're dead, they don't know where you are, so you have a good chance to ward right now, or to like sentry in this area in case they see you. So, okay, 1 sentry. The idea is right. There's a decent amount of overlap though. So like, if you want to put the sentry over here, I would put it more in the trees, because then you're less likely to get this sentry dewarded. For whatever reason. They don't really have a reason to deward this sentry, but it's generally good practice to put the sentry like in the tree, so that if they put the sentry out here, then they may miss your sentry and then you get the deward for free. So it's generally good to put it in the trees, and you would still cover a lot of the same area that you were aiming for, and then you would overlap less with this next sentry you placed. This sentry... Actually, this placement on this sentry is fine. If you're looking for wards in this area, this is about as far as you can put them, and it's pretty uncommon to put them over here. So I'm actually okay with this sentry. But if you do put this sentry here, then this sentry could be moved more to the left, just because you overlap a bit here. But this ward, I think, can go to the edge a bit, because, I mean, look at your sentry. Your sentry, like, just covers all this area. So anything here or lower misses the edge, but it's pretty much impossible to not cover this, right? Because even if you put the sentry here, this still covers here, and then you like can't place it any lower. So that's the downside with this ward. That's why you kind of usually you want to like touch the edges with your wards as much as possible. Like putting it here is no good because these trees block it. But this ward lets you see over here, which is kind of nice. But I think it's just very likely to get dewarded. I think putting it at the edge here serves a very similar role. You can even ask the anti-mage to cut these trees to then see pretty much the same thing. And I think at this level, most people wouldn't piece it together why he's cutting those trees. And it's less likely to get dewarded. Anything like slightly lower, you're just like improving your chances to not be dewarded. Oops, gotta select you again. I don't know what that sentry's for. I think you might be checking for mines, but you don't need it. You only need it for the ult. Technically, you can reveal stasis mines, but like, I don't know. Those aren't important. As a Treant, it doesn't matter if you can see them or not. You can't deward the stasis mines without just proccing them. So you don't even need to see them. And you don't need to see his Q, the proximity mines, because as long as you walk in range, you'll hit them. So don't need that sentry. You could save that money. That sentry could instead be like a Mango or a Clarity. Because look at your mana. You've got none. You have your ult. This is like pretty powerful, right? Good level timing because your anti-mages died a lot. But you don't even have enough mana to use your spells. And now that you're maxed out at all your spells, imagine if you try to cast all of them. Because of your mana costs, you like barely have enough mana to use everything if you're at full mana. That means like all the rest of the time you cannot be casting a single spell, and that's not ideal. So picking up not picking up, one of these spells is generally like safe, but if you do end up picking all of them up for whatever reason, and it can be legitimate to take all of them, but then you need like a magic stick or some mangoes to be prepared to cast everything. He was in chat earlier. He's not anymore, but we need to do the replay anyway, so I figured we'll do it here. Okay, you're gonna get away. See how this could be like a pretty good turn? It kind of looks like it is a good turn. But you kill that techies for sure if you're able to ult. That's kind of a missed opportunity because of mana management. You're gonna pick up the Void Stone now. You're thinking about it. Yeah, Void Stone is definitely the way to go when you have these Tranquil Boots. Also a techie's kill right there if you have the Overgrowth. Yeah? Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He's able to hit this for free because he sees it. If you would put it in the trees, he doesn't see it until he walks like down here. But you'll see his sentry from the way you walked, so you could come deward this before he gets to get to your sentry. So, yeah, try to place it in the trees. Same way for techies. He should have put it in the trees as well, because then you're like, I don't know where it is, but he's hitting my sentry. By the time you walk over here, he's gotten your sentry. It's probably an axe kill if you have your ult, actually. They're seeing a lot of some missed opportunities. Obviously, you don't get all three, because you only have the ult once. But yesterday, I mean. If at any point you had like gotten a Clarity or Mango delivered to you, probably has to be a Clarity. Mango's actually like not enough. Hey, there we go. And you were 10, or you were level 6 before minute 10. And with this cooldown, this could have been your second ult kill. So definitely important to try to like keep in mind your mana. I see the enemy actually has a ton of sentries down here. I don't really. What's everyone doing with all these sentries down here? It's not so important. I don't mind this ward over here, especially now that there's been like so much play down here. I don't mind committing 2 wards down here. But usually there's not so much fighting down here, and it's not worth it to place so many. And then that also includes that 3rd ward you have down here, but I don't remember when that one got placed. But I think that was for the laning to see when techies was trying to suicide, and so like I'm kind of okay with that. But then having another one here and here is like a bit overkill. Fortunately, it looks like this guy's doing totally fine up here. Although PA's now wandering around. So if you look at your vision, because all your wards are down here, like there's nothing anywhere else. Which again, because there's so many heroes down here, it's like kind of okay. But also, I don't know, Anti-Mage should probably go somewhere else, and like maybe you bring the Sand King down here. Because Anti-Mage is not really a hero that wants to be fighting this much. He wants to be farming. I think your W is off a little bit there. Okay. Gonna get the kill anyways. Oops. Looking at Anti-Mage. Yeah, it's the same deal. Just put the sentries in the trees would be better. God, you guys are spending so much money on the sentries down here. Oops. Okay, Anti-Mage is gonna get the D-ward, sure. Someone had to trigger those mines. A little safer place to approach this, though, because this is something Techies players tend to do, is put mines here, but they very rarely put mines down here. So if you want to like safely de-ward this, stairs and like this area is pretty common for Techies. So if you walk like this way and then put the sentry here, this is a little less likely to get you killed by mines. But that's kind of a pretty niche thing. All right, let's see where you're gonna go. There are 2 heroes here, but nothing is happening quite yet. Unless your team's communicating something, which maybe that's the case. I don't see a reason to TP here, especially because Queen of Pain's ult is down. You have AA Blast, you have Treant ult, so maybe you can get a kill here. But I don't know. It's going to require you to just simply walk in and for them to not react at all. So I don't think a kill is going to happen here. So I think you could be walking out. This recipe's kind of cheap, so I don't mind that you buy it. And honestly, you don't really need the health. But generally, unless you're dying and you're trying to save gold, and I don't know if you did. I missed that. But you don't need to buy the recipe until it's like the last thing usually. Unless you think you're going to finish it on the map, then that's kind of okay. But at this point, like, you're probably going to have the courier bring you some more wards at some point before you have enough money for the meteor hammer. So at that, you might as well just like save your recipe money, I feel like. Yeah, so you're like kind of waiting to see if something happens, and then you kind of like try to walk in, but as you can see, they just kind of like walk out. This is a pretty dangerous positioning, I feel like. So after you were dead there, I think you just walk out. Oh, careful. Got your passive canceled. I don't know if you need that Nature's Guys there. Nice. I think that's worth it. What's that mid Zeus? Is he being absolutely dumpstered by this Quap? Holy shit. Unless it was, I don't know, mid Veno or mid PA. Zeus is the most normal mid here. I wasn't actually watching the mini-map over there. Let's see. What are you doing? Stacking? Okay, I'm okay with it. Stacking. Now's a good chance to look around your map, see if you need to heal anything. I see your Anti-Mage could use some healing, and your tower. Well, Anti-Mage is now dead. Okay, so yeah, a bit of map awareness there. I know it's tough, though. I miss stuff like that all the time. So I'm not going to make too big of a deal out of it, but obviously if you're playing someone with an AoE heal, it is really good to make a habit of always looking at the status bars up here, or keep an eye on the mini-map, see what they need. Oh, nice! This is from the video! I think that's pretty good. If I do say so myself, because it's my own video, but you know. Stay in the trees when you're farming these guys. It's just a little safer. I don't think I have to say anything about this. If you don't have it set, guys, under options, over here, interface, hold Alt to show some of these things. I don't know if you even need to have one of these set to see the outpost, but if you ever need to see the spawn boxes or the tower ranges, turn these on, and then when you press Alt, you'll see this, and then you'll know I'm not supposed to walk in the circle, and I'm definitely not supposed to put any wards in it. So this idea is good to put a deep ward here in this area, but it should just be like in this corner instead. Because this is going to get de-warded for free. This would have probably gone for the rest of the game. Although you're against a Zeus, so maybe he ends up farming this. So if you want to move it further from the box and like put it here, that's okay, as long as it's outside the circle. And that's it. There you go. But if you're not against Zeus, then like in this corner is usually better. I gotta switch the neutrals. I don't know, maybe you forgot. You definitely don't need the Zim Claw. Actually, no one on your team really needs the Claw, actually, but certainly not you. Little aggressive. You're by yourself. I think TPing down here to defend the tower is good. Put out the Nature's Grasp to scare him away, but you're not killing Axe by yourself. At least not if he's full health. So you can just hold the ult. This is a pretty long cooldown, pretty big mana cost. You can send your courier to the secret shop. All right. This is scary. The way you're defending it is scary. Yeah, you might die now. Let me see. I mean, you're not really being punished for it, so I can see why this has become a thing. Although now you're getting punished for it. Okay, so if you hadn't ulted earlier, you could probably ult the Axe under the tower, setting up the AA blast, then you throw out Nature's Grasp, all of that. If you had like a magic stick right now, you'd probably have enough charges to like pop that, use Leech Seed to heal yourself up, stuff like that. Or maybe if you had this Philosopher's Stone in instead. So some like, you can see like the result of like some of these inefficiencies where we're like missing some of these kills. But to go back to the original point, you wouldn't have gotten this low if you defended in a like safer manner. So when you're defending against people pushing this tower, typically if you stand over here, stand back here-ish, and then cast Nature's Grasp in this angle, this is pretty scary for the enemy because you pop your head out here and attack a creep. So all the creeps will walk this way. So they're all standing in Nature's Grasp. And then if you are the Axe and you want to pressure this Treant, you have to run through Nature's Grasp here. So it like cuts people off. And the other choice is to be on this side and they get cut off. And then this is scary for a lot of people, to run deeper into enemy territory. So standing back here and casting it this way, Nature's Grasp, is generally really good. You'll defend the tower. And as long as you don't leave trees, you can be killed. But it's very hard to kill you. Leaving the trees are your like essential immunity. If you leave the trees, then you get your passive broken, like by Battle Hunger. You can now die, especially if like any hero rotates in. You just have no escape. It's like, what if you were playing who's someone else? Ogre Magi, or I don't know. If you're a ranged hero, you obviously wouldn't be standing up this close because you don't need to. But if you were playing like someone who wasn't Treant, would you walk up here? Probably not, because, well, if you do, you shouldn't, especially against an Axe. But I think on the other heroes, it's more obvious. But for Treant, you have to be very aware. Like, if my passive gets broken, I should be very careful. Even if Axe wasn't showing, I still stand in the trees. And unless I see multiple heroes, I do not walk out to hit the creeps because I could definitely die. If someone, like, suddenly Zeus bolts me, and now I'm just like a typical support hero, and I might get dove and killed. So yeah, try to stay in the trees, and if you do want to farm them, try to aggro them down. So if you see the Axe, you can right-click him and drag him down, and if no one's showing here, you can walk up, click up here, right-click this Veno, snap back to your hero, and walk down, and the creeps will chase you down a little bit, and then they'll be standing near the trees. And all of this is just a way to be a little safer. Oh, and in terms of your items, I don't mind this Meteor Hammer. I think it's fine. Because you're just defending for Anti-Mage, and Sand King can initiate for you. Oh yeah, we saw this. So you don't need... Oops. So you don't need the blink right away. This does not really help you wave clear. The healing of the creeps won't matter because you're against an Axe. And then you're like straining your mana pool a ton because you have, like, look at this. So when you're defending towers, all you need to cast are Nature's Grasp and Living Armor, and then right click. So try to like never cast Leech Seed unless you have to, because it's just a huge mana cost on the hero. That's why sometimes I'll like max out both my skills before even taking a point in Leech Seed. but it does depend on the game and context. Alright, so defending bottom. You really need to swap this in. This is such a waste. I think you haven't noticed. Look how much money you have too. You should have finished this already and bought a clarity. Alright, actually this is a good example. You see how because you weren't in the trees, he was able to break your passive? And then it became scary. You could have died if your Sand King and stuff weren't here. Whereas if you like stayed in the trees when last hitting, he calls you. He should pull you out. In this case, he didn't. But he calls you, and then you just like walk through the trees, and he's like, "Oh, okay, bye." Ah, could you deny a creep there? Looks like not.
No breaking through the dire structures for now.
All right, spend your money. So you can buy the Meteor Hammer, and then for your next item, let's see. Sand King got the pipe. Medallion maybe to protect the anti-mage, I think. Because pipe solves your issue. Well, not fully solves, but it helps a lot against Venomancer and Zeus. And so then your next issue is this PA. PA and Axe for killing your anti-mage. There's not a ton of ways to save someone from Axe Call. You could get a Yule's, I suppose, to Yule's Axe if you're in range. But that's kind of what Sand King can do as well, just to like stun. So then there's the PA. PA who probably has a BKB. You can't Yule's her. You can maybe ult her. So for your second item after Meteor Hammer, I'd probably go Blink or Medallion, just to like keep putting armor on the anti-mage.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower.
All right, you got your you got your Meteor Hammer now. Because you like never have mana, I think maybe you don't look to heal things as much, but it's definitely something you should consider doing. Not just consider, like you should do it if you're playing Treant. You have to look around and just constantly heal people with living armor. People or towers, one or the other. We look around real quick. I forget every now and then, to be honest. But yeah, both your towers taking some damage. Treant, you know, you gotta max up your Treant gems. Building healing. What the? This is okay. So of the items you want to take on Treant, this one pretty good because it gives you mana, gives you some armor to survive against like the PA. This one's also pretty good because you actually have so much right click damage that the -30 is not a huge deal to you. You only use your right clicks to hit creeps, and not like your right clicking in fights is not that important. So Philosopher's Stone helps a ton with your mana pool, and then it's gold. Who doesn't like gold? So one of these two is definitely the item. Maybe this Keen Optic as well if Sand King wasn't using it. But typically one of these items, something that gives you mana or mana regen. And then any like other form of utility that's useful. But this, more strength on Treant, not very important. And then the lifesteal, definitely not important. Oops. Yeah, it's hard to clear the mines as Treant. You have to like directly walk to it. Healing a Queen of Pain here, that's good. We can probably kill her. Oh, nice, didn't even have to ult. Because you have your ult, you might consider smoking. Especially like, alright, you use Queen ult, but you honestly don't need it. You still have like AA ult, Treant ult, plus Meteor Hammer, and then Sand King. So I think you could ask your team to smoke right around now. And where you go, to be honest, I don't care. Go wherever, especially if you have like any wards, which right now you don't have too many, but you can do whatever you want as long as you like start looking to do things. After you get in the habit of doing things, then we can nitpick and tell you like you should go here or whatever. So in this game, you don't have much vision, so it's kind of hard, but a smoke attempt with it can just have the Sand King, you and Sand King, because AA has a global blast, so AA doesn't actually have to be there. The two of you like walk into their jungle and then place like a maybe a ward here, maybe a ward here. I like these two, one of these spots, not both since they overlap. Like one of these spots to place like a deep ward. If you check like if you put it like around here, There's a good chance Zeus checks these areas, or they just have sentries that check these areas. So you guys kind of like smoke up, come back here. Let's say here, because if you're Zeus and you're farming and you're bolting like here and here, here, right? If you bolt here, you might catch this one. But if you put it like in between these camps, this is a little less likely. Against the Zeus, he still might get it. But I don't know. That's just playing against Zeus. There's like you can't have a perfect ward. But that would give you some vision, pretty deep. And with the Queen of Pain, she loves having that kind of vision. Because if she sees like PA farming low here or here, it's a very easy kill for her to like walk this way, scream, blink in, scream. She's dead. So when you have someone aggressive like a Queen of Pain or like a Blink Sand King or like global Ice Blast, then it's really nice to have deep vision. This is gonna be a good smoke attempt. So you guys are just walking in right now. Uh-oh, fight going on. Turn around. Ult's not bad. A little late on the Meteor Hammer, but it's the right idea. Looks like you're gonna get the kills anyways. Very nice. All right. So what do you think you should do now? You actually don't have a ward because you already placed it here, which this is okay. This is an okay spot as well. If you had more wards, this is the perfect time to like look for another deep ward. So like this one's pretty good. And so now it gives you some sight into their jungle. Now you head to like the bottom jungle and you ward somewhere in there. Because you don't have any wards, yeah, I guess you can just push the tower. I would stay in the trees though as much as possible. Yeah, like this. This is better. Like walk in and out of the trees as it's happening. That way, because you can't constantly attack. Your attack speed's pretty slow. So like, kind of like, you know, loop around a bit in the trees. It'll keep you a little safer. Be careful about how you cast your spells when you're this low mana. I like capping it from down here in the trees. I like that. That helps keep you safe. All right. So you just use your Nature's Grasp to farm here. What if a fight breaks out? You have your ult, you have Leech Seed, you have like all your spells, your Meteor Hammer, but you're not ready. So this is why it's like really important to have you need more mana regen. It's pretty much what it's coming down to. I'm seeing you use too many spells without more mana regen, and it's I don't know, it's just like maybe you're not going to get punished for it in this game, but if you do want to like keep improving, then you like as much as possible, you want to be ready for a fight to break out as soon as you're capable of it. And you can start a fight now. You have your ult. Like, look at you. You guys can fight. But actually, you can't because you don't have enough abilities. Look at this. Great. What if you needed to Meteor Hammer? What if you needed to Leech Seed? You're going to get her kill anyways. But, you know, you made that attempt at, like, partial strength because you don't have enough mana. That's why those other items are way better than Possessed Mask. And why you also need to buy, like, probably a couple clarities throughout the game. The game's still going pretty well for you guys. 16k up, anti-mage getting tons of time to farm. You can probably look to do Roshan soon. See, this is exactly how you stay safe in the trees. You're still gonna die here, but that's the idea, like to be in the trees and not get caught out. Or like if you do get caught out, you're pretty safe because of those trees. See, while you're dead, I'd look around, click any heroes. If you weren't using Philosopher's Stone, now is a great time to swap it in just for some extra gold while you're waiting. Good time for us to drink water. So you're going for the Ags. Ags is pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind it this game. It'll let you see some of like Techie's mines that otherwise your wards are blocked by trees and you can't. And also against Zeus, because he kills all your wards, it's kind of nice to have like the trees, which he can cut down, but you know, it's not as painful as losing wards because you have more of them, I guess. So I'm kind of okay with the Aghanims. I also think any item to help with to boost armor for your team could also be good. So like the medallion we talked about. Yeah, but actually, if I was you, I might go for the Aghanims here as well, just because it's fun. And you guys are pretty in the lead, too, so you're not that worried about Like, if it was a close game, you're tryharding, you probably need armor to deal with the PA. But it looks like you guys are just, like, closing this out, so I'm okay with you doing the Aghanims. Ah, rip Quap.
Can't do nothing without dire structure.
Oh, you might want to pick up a gem, though, at this time. You could also do Necro Book 3 if you really wanted to, but I think it's a little weird. This sentry should probably be further back. Not just should, it needs to be. Right idea, though, to spot Techie's wards, or Techie's mines, but don't put it under the tower unless you absolutely have to. Chilling again. Got a Ghost Scepter. Okay. Won't be killed versus PA. Might be killed by other people, but if you're worried about PA, I can understand that. You've already kind of talked about your other options anyway, so we won't go too far into it. I don't think the shard is quite worth it. It doesn't feel... Because of the way it works, it's like very difficult to use properly. Or like use at all, because you have to be in a tree. It's kind of my complaint about the hero. I wish his shard was better. The way his passive used to work is that you could like blink out of trees and punch people and it would root them. But now without, you like have to be in the trees and it's like so hard. Oh, dude, you can see the mines. Walk this way. Oh, it's so scary. All right, kind of looks like you guys are just closing it out. End the game here? Maybe. I don't know. The safe thing to do is probably just get top racks, then go get Roshan, and then go bottom. So I don't know if you need to Meteor Hammer this one, but the enemy team's kind of just like chain feeding here a bit. You're gonna get 2 racks. Don't need to stand. It's just generally good practice, even in games like this, to not all clump up. Just like make it a habit to like stay spread out. And that way you don't have to think about it as much. You'll just kind of like do it without thinking. Yeah, like you guys are always next to each other. What if you got like Axe Called, Slardar Stun, Tidal? Yeah, you guys have overstayed your welcome, but I could have told you that. We'll stop here, just about.
Invisibility.
Let me check the graphs. Yeah, it looks like you guys are just gonna close it out. I don't know if we need to really see through it. Yeah, okay. So, summary time. Mana management is the big one that comes to mind. You have like you're like constantly out of mana. And it depends on your hero, like how much you're able to get away with it. But Treant has mana issues if you use all his spells. And I find myself buying a lot of clarities on this hero to make sure that I have enough mana to constantly... You're pretty much always looking to cast your living armor on heroes or buildings. So that is a constant mana cost you have to be ready for. Which, as long as you buy like some kind of regen, usually it's fine because the spell's pretty cheap, 50 mana. But you kind of have to... Still, you kind of have to be ready for that. And then anytime you want to use your Q or your W... It's going to like start eating into your mana pool. 1 or 2 is okay, especially if like a magic stick or raindrops, things like that. But you can't constantly use those either. Most heroes can't. You typically can't constantly use spells. And if you do, you just don't have enough mana for everything else. And so we saw that. We saw some missed opportunities in this game just because you don't have enough mana. So there's 2 ways to approach that. 1, cast some of these spells less, which... I think we pointed out a couple cases where it's like, you don't actually need to cast this here. So that's one of them. But then 2 is just like buy some clarities, buy a raindrop, buy a Bassi, any kind of like cheap mana regen item on this hero. He doesn't need too many slots usually. So, you know, I think that would help you a lot. And then the other thing, what else do I want to highlight? The warding was a little weird. The warding was like selfish. At least the beginning of the warding, it was a bit on the selfish side where you had like 3 wards in the bottom, and you just don't need to see that much down there. Yeah. Verdict doesn't click. Yeah, clicking enemy items is good too. It's something I'm weak at, so it's a bit hypocritical of me to tell people to do, but it's definitely a good habit to get into for everyone. And I think that's it. Oh, 45 minutes. Nice. All right, yeah, we'll stop this one here. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.